You're listening to Heritage Radio Network.
Hi everyone, welcome to Potluck Food Talks. This is our special after Etxebarri episode. I'm here with Jose and Stephen. Yeah, this was my first time. Jose was here already once at Etxebarri.
Yeah, second time now.
And for sure, top 3 dining experiences I've ever
Absolutely.
Without a doubt.
Absolutely.
had. Yeah, incredible. So let's do a course by course review of what we had. So first of all, we entered this old Basque farmhouse. You go upstairs, we had like this extra large table for a group of 11, which was like a private table on a second floor, not on the main dining room. We just sit down, and first thing we get this pea soup, like
Yeah, caldo de guisante, pea broth. It was
broth. Yeah,
It
was that like this green broth. It tasted fresh, almost raw, like almost like a pea juice.
yeah.
Super nice. I don't know, like, what can you comment about it?
I mean, the color was absolutely stunning. It felt like I was drinking liquid emeralds. And as was the case with all of the courses, and we'll talk about just the smell, like the gentle smell of like smoke and charcoal and fire, it permeates everything. Starting from the beginning, it really just kind of sets the tone for how the rest of the meal is going to go.
Yeah, that was the word I was thinking about. This was gentle, like the sweet spot to have those like freshly kind of herb hints on it. Yeah, it's perfect to start.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really agree with you with that. Sets the tone, because I think that like a transversal idea across this dinner was subtleness. Like everything on each course, like the interesting things about each course were the subtlenesses that are very complicated to communicate. Right? Like, so then next we still were in the snacks, and we got like a board with sliced Joselito chorizo, like the highest quality Iberian ham chorizo, this sliced with a crust of bread with tomato and anchovies. Also pretty nice. Also tone setting starting.
Yeah, it's still kind of warming up. Just real kind of whetting the appetite. Not very heavy, despite it being very fatty pork and very not oily but rich anchovy on top of the good crusty bread. Lovely.
Yeah, the chorizo I was is taking every slice I could. Just seeing who was not watching this take another.
There's really playing the dance at the end. It's like, all right, who's gonna take the last one? It's like, you, is it me? It's like, I want it to be me, but I don't want to be an asshole.
I like that usually you would expect like an excess of salt in this type of foods, but in this case there wasn't.
Yeah.
In the case of the anchovies, you will find like a lot of sourness, like vinegar or salt. In this case, it was just like gentle enough, and contrasting with the crust of the bread crust, very crunchy in your mouth. Yeah, it was
I would say gentleness and finesse was also a concept that was all over.
What really stood out to me, honestly, was like the texture of the chorizo was very unlike like most chorizo that you buy that you get. It's like the cured chorizo. It's like always on the tougher, a little bit more dried out side. Not hard to chew, but this one just melted away.
Yeah.
From the first bite, just didn't need to chew. It just dissolved on your palate, and it was basically like pork butter, which we'll get into later. But
So next, still with the snacks, we've got this little bowl of mozzarella on top of rocket pesto. Again, just very straightforward. Just enjoy the flavor of a plain mozzarella. I think there was not even olive oil or salt on top of it. It was just
It was a very nice contrast between the acid, kind of acid
bitterness,
flavor of the cheese and the bitterness of the but it was like a short lasting bitterness of the rocket sauce that
but it's also this subtle bitterness of the dairy that you could also feel through the mozzarella.
The sweetness and even the smokiness permeating through everything. Something that we haven't even talked about yet is this entire time they're giving us house-made sourdough which is just like a perfect accompaniment for everything that we're eating. It's like
I have the bread.
Oh yeah, the bread was so good. Almost every dish that we had, there was like at least a little bit left in the bottom of the plate that you just really wanted to sop up with the crusty bread. It was a perfect accompaniment.
Yeah, super nice. Jose and I went for 2 bottles of wine. We started with a white and a red. The white was a Domaine Pierre Boisson, which was it was an interesting wine. We had it at the beginning, and we realized it worked better on a not so cold temperature.
Yeah, we had to regulate the temperature.
Yeah, when it
throughout
was cold, it wasn't,
the course.
it's losing. Leave it outside for a bit.
Yes.
Put it in the ice again. Yeah. Okay, and then came for me for sure one of the highlights. It had to be one of the highlights. The red prawns.
Yes.
Oh,
Incredible.
Yes.
Like, amazing stuff. What you guys didn't leave anything at the plate.
Yeah, we ate almost all of them.
It was
Almost all of them.
I mean, like I would
Like the
suck-
shell,
Yeah.
everything,
like
I would suck all the
Yeah.
meat, the very part, but you actually chew it and swallow.
Yeah.
we started breaking off the head, sucking out like obviously the best part is the head juices are incredible, but these are amazing. I'm never gonna have prawns like these again in my life. I have to make it worth it, and so just eventually starting to eat the head and the face and the tails and the legs, and it's like it's all great.
Yeah, it was sort of totally worth it because the texture of the shell instead of being chewy, it was actually crunchy.
Yeah, it was like
So
like there was like the part of the shell surrounding the head was I think the only quote unquote inedible part. It was a little too tough, but everything else was just like glass and shattered right away. And again, like just this subtle lick and kiss of smoke, it just kept bringing you back for more.
Absolutely, yeah. For me, it was exactly that. It was just like a thin line between being rare and cooked, being grilled and smoked, and not grilled and not smoked.
Such a beautiful sweetness too.
Yeah, just like a
exactly.
sweet spot right there that it was just smoked, but everything very subtle, and the produce was just incredible.
yeah, definitely menu highlight.
Yeah.
One of the menu highlights.
Yeah, top 3 for sure. Maybe top 1. I don't know. Yeah.
We got some more stuff to talk about.
What came next? Sea urchin. So this was like a whole sea urchin, half, and the shell you use as a plate, and you had this cream of sea urchin with its own, like the flesh of the sea urchin creamed into the soup, with the pieces of sea urchin, and then there was like a little oil in the middle, which was
Seaweed oil.
and fennel.
And seaweed and fennel oil. Oh yeah.
Absolutely incredible. Yeah, like absolutely amazing. You would get this whole sea flavor, but not overly intense. Just like very
Not overly intense, but I one of the more decadent parts of the meal. It's like it helped that the portion was so small, but it's just very, very rich and unctuous and umami, and I like pretty much this could be said for every plate, but just it was gone in a matter of 30 seconds.
yeah. Three spoons, and that was it.
And then we went for the
Sea cucumber.
sea cucumber.
Ardeñas.
That the one for me it was one of the highlights in my case. I loved it.
I remember you mentioned smell it.
Yeah. It was part of the experience of that dish, actually smelling it first. Yeah.
Yeah, and when I smelled it, it brought me to a Sunday grill, with friends.
Yeah, absolutely.
It really smelled like grill. And it was on top of peas, and the peas were in its own juice.
Yeah.
Kind of like in a juice cream sauce around the peas. And it also had like a garlic flour, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
Super nice. You have the sea flavors, again, flesh that wasn't that hard. You could easily cut. And
the texture, like
it was like between crunchy and chewy at the same time, but perfectly blending in with the peas in the bottom of the plate. Really, really well balanced.
Amazing produce for sure. This little squid.
The cuttlefish,
Cuttlefish with this had
with the Biscaia sauce and the tier peas.
the tier peas, exactly, and Biscaina sauce.
Biscaina,
Yeah, which is one of the main Basque sauces. Or if it was not a Biscaina, it was like a Biscaina-ish kind of
like
thing.
a Basque ketchup.
I'm sure they'll love to hear that.
Biscaina, the main ingredient is a pimiento choricero, which is kind of like a paprika, the one you use for chorizos, like a powdered pepper, and yeah, you could feel this bitterness, this chorizo kind of like flavor in the peas that are just, the season is just starting, and the squid again, it not cooked, not raw, not rare, but just in between, not grilled, not grilled, but just in between, you know, like very very delicate.
Agree. It was just an incredible experience, just like seeing the magic that can be made from so few ingredients, and watching it get elevated to the heights that chef was able to do.
Then next we had
The kokochas.
yeah,
Oh, the
little
kokochas.
kokochas.
You love them, right?
I'm a sucker for kokochas, but this
like
one
a dime
is
size, which is very little for a kokocha. You usually get them relatively larger, and they were on top of a cracker that was made with wild bear garlic, which is like a leaf, garlic-ish leaf that you will find wild grown around here. And yeah, the best way to eat a kokocha is to get the whole thing in one bite. Just work very little.
That one was a texture contrast. So, you know, like the jelly from the kokocha and
these were rebozado style, right?
yes,
like
yes.
Coated like an egg, pretty much coated in an omelette, basically. And on top of this cracker. So it was like a one bite thing. You get this very gelatinous fish feeling of the white fish of the kokocha. You know the fish? What
it was hake.
It was hake.
It was hake. So yeah, I only started eating kokochas only a few months ago when I moved to San Sebastian, and that's one of the highlights of Basque cuisine for me. Is like if you like texture, that like thick gelatinous, like really sticky mouthfeel, this is about as incredible as you can get.
That's pretty much one of the distinctive features of Basque cuisine in my opinion. That stickiness. What came next? Then we had the caviar. We ordered an extra caviar. That was also like absolutely decadent.
That was a highlight. It was made with it had like an emulsion of Iberian pork fat on the base, and then the caviar is like smoked on top, and it had a side of goat milk butter. That was definitely insane.
No, incredible. I eat a lot of goat cheese. It's like normal cheese slices, but the goat ones. So I'm pretty familiar with that strong flavor of goat dairy. And this was the high quality butter version of it, with the Iberian ham and the caviar. It was just over the top incredible. For me, this was one of the highlights for sure.
Then we had the perrechicos kind of egg yolk scramble, no?
The huevo revuelto, kind of, sort of.
I would say the reference was scrambled egg with mushrooms, but it wasn't a very high-end, refined version, which was pretty much like an egg yolk emulsion. It is almost rare mushrooms on top. So you could feel it reminded me of eating raw champignons, but with all the notes that you get from a wild mushroom,
which are
very
more complex. That to me, I combined a bit of the goat milk butter with bread, and I put a bit of those like scrambled eggs, and it was totally like a breakfast bite.
When we say scrambled eggs, it was probably more like consistency of like a hollandaise.
Like a hollandaise.
Something similar.
It was just like maybe the memory that it took me to.
Absolutely,
because of that like breakfast kind of feeling.
And this was like,
it was definitely more of like a hollandaise texture.
This was like more of a homey comfort, like not super complex in terms of technique, but like a good textural contrast to break things up, especially a lot of big seafood flavors and kind of coming in to break up not the monotony, but just change the flow of the course for a little bit.
The next course was like, again, mushrooms. We had they're called Marzuelos in Spanish. In English is March mushrooms, because
very fitting considering we're coming to the end of March.
And truffles. So you have this broth, thick broth, where you would get like not like this overly powerful truffle, but like
Very earthy, very deep, like brown flavor.
Mid-level aromatic, not the most aromatic you will find, but very delicious. Then this mushroom, which were way more complex and aromatic than the previous one. Probably the truffles also help on that.
And the smoky notes of the broth.
Yeah.
And I would
The broth was a highlight.
I would drink like a glass of that broth.
I think I'd bathe in that broth. I listen. Come out of the bath smelling like that. Today's gonna be a good day.
And a generous amount of truffle shake. Amazing. Also one of the. There are way too many highlights by this point.
Yes.
when the caviar was taking over, there was a spoon is missing because there were these pearl spoons that you used to eat caviar. Who has it? There were 6 spoons and there are only 5 coming back. We never found out.
We never found out.
We'll never know.
What did you have next? URCHIN, baby eels.
Yeah, it was actually my first time trying the angulas.
It's my second time. I had them once in eBay.
Okay.
I mean, you've had them millions of times, the fake version.
Yeah, because that's become like a, I don't know, like a traditional food for every Basque fridge, you know, like the imitation of the angulas, which are called gulas actually, and they are usually served in the tamborrada day.
Yeah, they're super nice. You throw them just with some garlic and parsley to the pan with onion, and that's it. 2 minutes stir frying.
Man, but these were definitely like a
cut above
texture experience.
Yeah, you can also feel like the deep, meaty flavor of eel.
Yeah,
but on the baby version.
Yeah. It was pretty nice to feel like the really small structure of the spines, like when you eat like sardines or anchovies.
Anchovies, yep.
That you kind of feel the inside, but at a smaller scale, you know. And that was definitely for me a texture experience.
Yeah,
most of it.
Also, we all agree that this was the highest smokiness point in the by that point. Everything else was pretty light and subtle. This was like, boom, here you have it. Get some smoke.
I think it also helped the way that it was served in the bowl. They had a small cloche on it, so when you open it, the smoke immediately billows out and hits you in the face. And it was like, one of the more, if not the most intense, smoky flavors throughout the entire dinner.
And then we got into the main courses. The first one was the fish, which was a grilled sea bream in the style of the Basque coast, where you emulsify the oil with the collagens of the fish and then bring it back as a sauce. And I've had this kind of fish. I mean, we on the Basque Country episode we had like at least 3 different versions of it, but this is for sure the best one I've ever had. I think this is better than the ones I've had at the Cano, which is the grilled fish place par excellence. And in this case, I would say, again, finesse, subtleness, everything was just lighter.
Yeah, usually these kind of grilled fishes are like topped up with like a sour vinaigrette or something that usually is kind of
punchy.
Punchy, but in this case it was just like right on the point of
Not
sour. Not punchy at all. And that was very nice. Very nice. You also felt like the gelatin of the fish at the same time. And how was the eye-eating experience?
Ooh, yeah. So, I said this earlier. When the abyss when you stare at the abyss stares back, and then I decided to eat said abyss. That I was, it was an experience.
Did you feel like in a kung fu movie?
No, I felt like I was living my own movie. But it was, again, very, like, if we're talking about sticky and gelatinous, it was hard to get more so than that. Worth the experience. Won't be trying it again anytime soon. It helped that the rest of the fish was absolutely fantastic. I can't imagine. I can't remember a better fish dish that I've had in years.
I think it's a better grilled fish I've ever had. And the meat was just flaky and translucent and just cooked, almost not cooked.
Yeah.
Like super nice. And then we had like this bridge between fish main course and to meat main course, which was they call it CHORIZO Tartar.
That was one of the highlights as well.
That was like
definitely.
That was surprisingly,
yeah.
Like surprisingly up there in terms of everything. Like we had, I think between the desserts and like the add-ons, the angulas and the caviar, I think it was maybe like 16 courses or 16, 17 courses or something like that on top of everything. And this was like by far one of the standouts.
And how would you describe it?
I mean, I know we're beating a dead horse here, but smoky is like the first thing, but just everything you like, all the flavor you love about chorizo, so unctuous and fatty and a little sweet. It's incredible.
So it was presented kind of like a sandwich between two crackers, and the crackers were like talos, right?
Yeah, it was like a talo.
Yeah.
Yeah, talo. Talo, to put it in a very simple way, it's like a Basque taco.
Yeah, like a Basque tortilla.
Yeah.
Like a corn tortilla.
Corn
But
tortilla.
the Basque bread, and it was something adapted from Mexican tortillas into century-old Basque cultures, which is something traditional here. And you have this tortilla, these tacos made with the Basque tortillas that are called talos, which is different from a Mexican tortilla. It's its own thing, and you eat it with chistorra, which is like a grilled chorizo. And in this case, you had something very similar between these two crackers and the tartar in the middle, with the highest quality chorizo you could expect.
Absolutely.
Super nice.
Another highlight.
It's not often I eat raw pork, but this is, really like I changed a lot of. Like we don't really eat raw pork at all in the U.S. If you see tartar, it's steak tartar and that's it. And I think more people should be eating pork tartar, provided it's safe and it's of the highest quality. But incredible.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not even sure if this was rare.
I was wondering the same. I'm not sure.
I feel this was at least cured,
yes. Yeah. At least.
but I don't know.
I don't know. I wondered the same. I wondered exactly the same.
We should have asked the chef while we had the chance.
Because, maybe tartar only referred to the chopping.
To the chopping of the meat.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah, me neither.
We'll have to ask.
Yeah. And then we had the main course and one of the icons of Etxebarri, which is the chuleta, the chop. It's a bone-in sirloin, which is the magical thing about this is this rare but warm.
But wait, it was a blonde
Oh, so
Galician cow, 10 years old,
Her name was Marilyn Monroe.
and 36 days of dry aging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it looked almost like a tomahawk,
Yeah. And it looked like that, yeah.
Super long rib, bone, and incredible. And super darkly charcoal,
Yeah.
right in the middle. Only salt. We went to a point we thought that the salt was a Ajinomoto on top of
Yeah.
I literally cannot remember a better steak I've ever had. I think by far it just blows everything else out of the water.
I agree. I would say maybe it's probably my top steak ever.
One of the highlights for me, for sure, was eating from the bone.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Basque style.
Feel like
Basque proper style.
Feel like Fred Flintstone's like eating a dinosaur bone. It's just
And then we enter the realm of the sweets. First, smoked sheep milk ice cream and beetroots. That's the name. So you feel the smokiness and this. It felt like a smoked cheese, but very subtle. And then the beetroot, I think it was rare for sure, right? Like a high quality raw.
Yeah, earthy.
Very earthy.
Beetroot juice, where you also have like this rare notes.
It was a perfect combination between like the oily, fatty, rich mouthfeel of the cream of the dairy, but at the same time like with that refreshing feeling from the cold beetroot juice. And that combination, like in every bite, was amazing.
The execution of the ice cream for me, it was perfect.
Yeah.
Hot crystals, just creamy, stable, super nice.
You know that like when it's one of the best desserts you've ever had, and it's quite literally only like 2 or 3 ingredients. It's like
2 elements.
2 elements. You have just this beautiful, incredibly simple smoked milk ice cream, and not much, and just and raw beetroot juice, and it's incredible. The simplicity and the execution was phenomenal.
I remember from the first time I went to Etxebarri, they explained that they reduce the milk in the where they make the brasas.
The grills.
The grills, yeah.
And the grill
They reduce it. They evaporate the water until the the fat percentage of the milk is like high enough to make an ice cream. So it's like a slow process. And
Yeah, I
you
guess
feel
it's
it.
only that milk with some kind of stabilizer.
Yeah,
That's it.
and that's it.
Yeah, that's insane. Yeah, we saw the ovens in the kitchen. Those are the ovens where they actually
Yes.
reduce the ice.
Yeah.
Just reduce on a charcoal grill.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That is incredible.
And I remember also Kevin and Phil talking about this dessert. That it
It's
was
my
not-
top one. My top one like restaurant dessert ever.
And I mean, Kevin, for example, he's a chef at Noma, and he has tried all kinds of things all over the world. He says the same thing.
Mhm.
You know, it's crazy. And for me, what is impressive is how do you come up with something like this,
Yeah, man.
right? Like,
I don't know.
let's say you make an ice cream and just put raw beetroot juice. You know, like,
Yeah.
It has to be like a very strange way to get there. You know, like a very specific way to get there.
It's like this and the chuleta are like, these are his flagships, what he's been doing for years, because he knows they work. So he had to figure this out early on, that this is just like an incredible combination, and it's worked very, very well for him.
No, and I guess it's also years of perfectioning, fine tuning until it gets
Absolutely.
there. I don't think it was like that at the beginning. I think it's something that evolved across the years. Then we had the second dessert, which was the white chocolate and dark chocolate souffle. For me, this, I felt like watching cartoons on television on like childhood memories. It really felt like childhood sweets. You know, like
Yeah. To me, it was like a pretty amazing texture contrast as well, because the top of the dessert was like very foamy, like airy, white chocolate mousse or foam, I would say, and on the bottom was a bit more like a bit thicker,
More dense, more
and
rich.
You could
like-
feel the contrast in your mouth.
And I think for classic souffle standards, for a French standard, this would be rare. It would be too rare.
Yeah.
Right? Like a French would say, oh, you can't do that. Because you would break it and it would fall apart and you would have souls all over, like a liquid, and then you could mix it. But that's the fun thing about it. You know, like also the best part is the liquid part.
Yeah.
Thing, you know?
There's something to be said, like, whereas we were talking about like the incredible balance of the last dessert with the ice cream and the beetroot, this was like, for me, a real masterclass in like desserts can be only sweet. Like, it was almost verging on too sweet, but it's like there was enough contrast between like the bitterness of the dark chocolate and the really like eggy but intense sweetness of the outer souffle. It was just like primarily it's just sweet, and you don't get there's only, I wouldn't say as much nuance as the first dessert, but no less delicious.
Then we had two desserts at the same time. The first one was a pear tartlet. This was basically puff pastry with slices of pear, and yeah, very classic, very crunchy.
Yeah.
You would get like pieces of puff pastry,
like glass.
Those are nice puff pastry, glass, and fine slices of pear. I mean, like a classic, not particularly a highlight, but like a very nice one
Yeah.
for me.
It was a great way to finish up our meal, but we still have one more dessert to talk about.
The other one was for me that was one of the highlights, the cheese flan.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking earlier about Basque cheesecake. This was, I've always described Basque cheesecake in terms of formula as a cream cheese flan baked, because it's, in terms of formula, it's pretty much that. But in this case, where there was no kind of flour, which you will find at Basque
I
cheesecake.
love that it was warm. I remember that you've mentioned that you like that warm feeling of a cheesecake. So this was like a warm cheese flan, and yeah, it was like
Creamy, cheesy. I mean, it had everything. And then nothing, no sauce, no garnish.
No.
It was just that.
yeah. It had like a caramel base, but it was very subtle.
All the desserts and our entire meal, but I'd say especially the desserts, were just so very simple, so few elements, like not a lot of garnish, not a lot of like primping and preening and tweezer work. And it's like, I think that's just like the message that we can say about the entire meal. It's like everything was done so simply well.
Yeah.
I also have to say that like the environment, the space, it really felt like being at someone's home. especially because we had a private room for ourselves.
Yeah.
But I mean, also when we went to the terrace to have coffee at the end, it felt, like visiting someone's home and,
Yeah.
And the landscape and the surroundings, man.
a
You,
fucking Basque.
you would see the cows on the mountain there.
And like even as we're sitting down, we're at this long wooden table. Like yes, there are white tablecloths, but not like pristine white that have been ironed like 3 times a day. But like the things that you'll see at your grandma's house that she lays out for you. You can almost feel like you almost see like scratches on the table, but let's see like books lining the shelves around you. You really do feel like that someone's welcomed you into your home.
Yeah, like that's something I like very much. That it was not overly formal, right? Like also the treatment of the service. It was like being at someone's home. At some point, they would tell us like, you don't do that, or turn your knife on the other way around, or who stole my spoon.
That's it for this week's episode of Potluck Food Talks. If you like what we're doing, make sure to subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode. You can also find us on Instagram and TikTok as Potluck Food Talks. The show airs every Monday.